Alright guys, I'm going to do my best at speaking. As you can probably tell, my voice is a little out of it. Real nasally. Been fighting the cold for about a week now, so bear with me on that. But not really sure what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. From the previous S10 video, I pulled the transmission out, found that the case was damaged, and still waiting on a case to swap everything over to. So in the meantime, I kind of got bored, as I do, and figured I'd pull the engine out because I was already there, and you all saw that in the last video. So since then, pulled the heads off, pulled the pan off, just inspected everything. Nothing real crazy found, so slapped it all back together, and here we are. Currently I am making new motor mounts because I mentioned before I was using like the stock V6 like Chevy Astro motor mounts on the bottom that are still rubber. They're kind of like the Chevy clamshell, and they were already beat to hell. Had a lot of engine movement, so I want to do some solid motor mounts. And I was trying to position the engine as low and as far back as possible. The factory cross member, you know, on these S10s you always have to notch out usually to do an LS swap for oil pan clearance. Well, I just lopped the whole thing off right in the center and welded in a tube across there to give me even more clearance. And so I can drop that engine down low, get a nice low center of gravity there. Got it in all mocked up where I wanted to, started test fitting some things. My exhaust no longer cleared the steering, no big deal. I can modify or make something work there. Got to the other side, tried putting the starter on, and nah, wasn't gonna happen. Starter was hitting the frame, basically where the lower control arm mount is on these. It kicks out from the frame rail, right where the starter needs to go. So I'm gonna do a quick little look, see if I can't maybe trim a little bit of that off to get the starter up in there, because I really like where the motor is placed at right now. I don't want to redo the mounts, but if there's nothing I can do there, we're just gonna have to lift the motor up. So let's get to it. So there's the there's the control arm mount, part of the frame that I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but the starter right there is just, oh, I might have just made it work. It was just the angle of the dangle was wrong. Oh man, that might work if I can get a bolt in. It's kind of on a harsh angle, but if I can get a bolt in there, that's gonna be awesome. Let's try. Uh-oh. That's gonna be hard to do with the camera. Let's see if I can set this down. Because it was always tight before. So that's, I wonder if I put the bolt in the starter first and then put it up in there. I mean, it's gonna make it a real pain to do a starter ever, but I don't think I can make it work. I wonder if I can just cut some of this control arm mount out. What do you think, Roxy? I hear you over there snorting. I can almost put the bolt up through there. Oh, is it worth it? Let's see. The wires are keeping me from getting straight. So there you can see how close the starter is to that control arm, so it's impossible to get a bolt in there. What I was trying to do is get the bolt up through the starter and then get it into place, but it doesn't seem to be working either, but I'm gonna keep trying. Ka-chow! I was able to get it up in there. That's awesome. I mean, doing a starter on this isn't gonna be great, but I've done worse starter replacements on factory cars, so I'm gonna run with it. Here you can see kind of the cross member. I guess I should hold the camera so that you guys can actually see, but kind of see the cross member. I put this bigger capacity oil pan on. That's why I kind of needed more room, but there's the control or cross member. Sorry guys, I'm trying to not sound so terrible, but look at that. Empty transmission. Oh, Roxy's heard the neighbors. Did you just wake up from a nap? You look really tired. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, are you sleepy? Did you just wake up? Okay. I can't believe that just fell in when I was trying to show you guys on camera. I've literally been dreading moving these motor mounts and moving this engine for like 5 days because I didn't think it was gonna go in. But that's so much more work that I don't have to do now. I don't even know what I'm gonna do for the rest of this video. Well, find something to do. Okay, moving along. So, as I just mentioned, the exhaust didn't clear the way I had it before. For those of you that have been around the channel a lot, knew, or may not have known, but on the stock manifolds before, I had them going down and forward, and S10s are real common for the steering to be in the way. So I had cut, and here I'll show you, it's on the other side now. So this was the manifold on the other side. See, I've got a little pie cut, little half pipe in there for the steering to pass through. And I knew that that wasn't going to work over here anymore because I lowered it and pushed the motor back. But if I just flip them, it seems to work okay. I've still got a little bit of a clearance issue right here on the column itself. Like, it's pinned in there tight right now. It won't turn. And I know that like the tubular, you know, Flowtech turbo headers that go up and forward aren't going to clear here either. So instead of buying new headers and just having to modify them anyways, I might as well just reuse these, save the money, and then just modify this a little bit back here. What do you think, Rox? Think that will work? She thinks so. So yeah, instead of spending money on buying a brand new set of headers and then having to cut and modify them, I'm just going to reuse these manifolds that I have, flip them upside down, do a little bit of modification here, similar to what I did on that side. Just maybe cut this out, weld in a little piece of pipe, or I wonder if I might be able to loosen where this mounts on the firewall and scoot it over just a hair. Well, didn't really do much. It made it so that I could at least turn it. It's not pinned that tight anymore, but I'm gonna need more room than that. So I think I'm just gonna cope it out, put a little piece of pipe in there, kind of like the other side was. Okay, so you just noticed me realizing that after spending all that time making this little piece to fit in here, that I have the curve going the wrong direction. If something is passing through this way, it would make more sense for the curve to be with that item. So I recut this, so now the curve goes this way as the steering shaft passes through it. So still got to trim this down so that it fits nice and tight. Plus this one here was going to create a lot more restriction in this one runner, which it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but this one will have more of a gradual curve in there for the exhaust to flow around, instead of this one hitting some sort, you know, somewhat of a wall. But so trim this down, get it fit up, and then get it welded in. Than I would weld just that exhaust pipe with this cast steel. Can you hear that? It's the same noise you hear when you shut your vehicle off. The exhaust is tinging as it cools down. I'm going to let this cool down naturally. I'm not going to cool it down with air or water or nothing like that to help kind of keep any of those welds from possibly cracking. So we'll just let it cool down naturally and then come back and clean it up. Alright, got it all cleaned up. Let's see if it fits. Might sound like gunshots in the background, but those are just fireworks. There you have it. Got plenty of clearance now. We can steer. Just goes to show, if something doesn't fit, you can always make it fit.